Day 51, wrapping up my morning walk. Today I've been thinking a lot about what things are going to look like 2 months from now. So just on my walk, what I kept thinking about is what is the end of May going to look like? What's June going to look like? And what seeds can I plant today that will hopefully kind of grow by the time May and June roll around and put me in a better position. And then I was just thinking about what a crazy time it is that we are living through right now. I mean, we're going through a worldwide pandemic, and humanity is mobilizing in a way that is incredible. It's so amazing to see how people are coming together. It's crazy to see something so big like this kind of level the playing field for everybody. Everybody's at risk. I don't know, just so interesting. And being born in the 90s, it's interesting to see that, I've lived through 9/11, the 2008 recession, and now this. And for those who are older than me, you guys have lived through even more stuff. So just a interesting time. And I guess I'm just talking about it just to record my thoughts for the future. But it makes me think that with the way our population is growing, the way that technology is evolving at such a fast pace, the rate at which technology is growing is increasing day by day. Is it going to become more common for us to face major crisis like this in the future? Is this something that's going to become normal because of these factors, because our population is growing, because we have more and more technology? I don't know. It's just really interesting, really interesting to see this all kind of play out, and especially because we don't exactly know how this is all gonna end up and what the long-term effects are gonna be. But I think some of the positives are that I think it has restored a lot of faith in humanity for a lot of people. People are more connected than ever. People are making incredible efforts to help each other, and just to see everyone mobilize on a worldwide scale is it's so impressive to see everyone doing their parts and helping where they can. And it's just really interesting. So yeah, just kind of thinking about everything that's going on, I guess, from 30,000 feet above, and what it'll mean for us in the future. I don't really know. I don't think anyone really knows, but you can do your best to anticipate. And every single day that you have, you can plant a seed that can grow later and hopefully turn into something that could be helpful to you or your business or whatever it is that you're doing. So that's what I've been thinking about today on my walk. But yeah, so day 51 of the 75-day challenge, getting my walks in while I still can, healthy, so grateful for that. But yeah, take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Day 51, reading of The Wealthy Gardener, lesson 4.37. This lesson is titled Prudence. An emotional mind makes mistakes, reflected the wealthy gardener, while the rational mind makes money. Let passion give way to reason when dreaming gives way to planning. Prudence is wise caution with regard for self-interest. It is self-control, detached objectivity, and practical calculation that leads to steady financial direction and a richer life. Wisely and slow, wrote Shakespeare, they stumble that run fast. All enterprises that are entered into with indiscreet zeal may be pursued with great vigor at first, Tacitus said, but are sure to collapse in the end. Let those without discipline act without reason. Those without prudence often learn the pain of misjudgments. Wealth requires strategic thinking with a calm respect for the worst consequences. It is better to be careful 100 times than to be killed once, a wise saying tells us. Think like a man of action, Henry Bergson said. Act like a man of thought. I think we should follow a simple rule, said Dr. Joyce Brothers. If we can take the worst, take the risk. The life lesson, prudence. I saw that my financial setbacks sprung from emotions, but detached objectivity prevented foolhardy mistakes. I really like that last line where Dr. Joyce Brothers says, if we can take the worst, take the risk. I think that that is a great point of evaluation when you're thinking about getting into something and doing something. And I think for sure for me, in my 20s and just kind of rounding out my 20s right now, my whole thing was to take as much risk as I possibly could in my 20s, knowing that whatever ended up happening or whatever the outcome would be, I could bear the worst case scenario just given my age and the time that I had. So I'm really grateful for the risks that I have taken and that I've continued to take. And I think the experience that I've gotten from all of those risks is something that can never be taken away from me or replaced. And through the good and the bad, it's all definitely been worth it. And of course, I think that for some people it's harder than others, especially if you have a family or major life responsibilities like that. I've been fortunate enough to not have that yet in my life, which made it so much easier for me to take that risk. And I'm super glad that I did. So I never really knew the word prudence or really even thought about it, but I am definitely, that's a line that I highlighted in here and that I'm going to underline and write in my notes, that if we can take the worst, take the risk. That is definitely a great way to put it. And one of the things that I do to kind of really soak in a book is I take notes on every single chapter. And I don't do it on a daily basis if I don't get the time, but whenever I do sit down and kind of do like a little study session, I'll just make up for whatever lessons I haven't done. And I have found that to be super helpful to retain the information, especially a book like this where there are several lessons and there's so much good stuff that you want to remember and you want to practice, a lot of action items that you can take away from this. Having that notes and just the act of, I think, writing out the stuff that you really want to retain just makes it that much easier to retain. And on that note, that is day 51 of the 75-day challenge. All the details of this book and this challenge are in the description down below. All right, guys, take care. Good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow.